Yes, sir. What is your fasting
Sir.
financial process?
It's known case of hypertension, sir, since 3 years.
Known case of hypertension for past 3 years. Is he on any
Yes,
treatment?
sir. He's on tablet metoprolol, sir, 25 mg,
Okay,
BD,
metoprolol
and RAM. Yes, sir.
25 milligrams.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
It's on Ramipril, sir, 2.5 mg.
Ramipril 2.5 milligrams. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then proceed. Then.
His known case of ischemic heart disease. 3 years back, he had a stenting, sir.
Okay. Fine. So ischemic heart disease 3 years back, and he
Yes,
has
sir.
underwent stenting.
Single stenting was done.
One stent. Fine.
Yes, sir. He was on since then he was on Ecosprin, sir, 150 mg.
Okay. He is on aspirin 150 milligrams. Then.
Yes, sir. So they started on Debigatran, sir. Reason no reports are available.
Okay. The patient, in addition to that, is on dabigatran.
Yes, sir.
Reason is not unknown. Fine. No, no
Yes, sir.
worries. Leave it. So, right. Any other past history has he got?
After this ischemic heart disease, since then he don't have any symptoms like chest pain, any dyspnea, sir.
Okay. So, post
Since then
stenting,
since
he is symptom free. Fine.
yes, sir. No history of diabetes mellitus, asthma, thyroid, and CVA, sir.
No history of diabetes mellitus, bronchial asthma, thyroid, then stroke.
Yes, sir. Stroke, sir.
No stroke. Any other issue did you
Yes, sir.
ask him? Okay. These are all
No,
the
sir.
things you asked in the past history.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Fine.
no other surgeries in the past, sir.
Okay. No previous surgeries. Right. Okay.
Yes, sir. No drug allergy.
No previous surgeries, no drug allergy. Okay, let's stop it now. We'll discuss how the past history or the comorbidities is going to impact the anesthetic issue in this patient. You said the patient is going to be hypertensive.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you ask him when did he check his blood pressure last? How good control is his blood pressure?
Yes, sir. He
Okay,
checked.
yeah.
He checked 1 month back, sir.
Okay, 1 month back, what was his blood pressure?
He 130/80, sir.
130/80 a month back.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Is he taking his
Yes, sir.
tablets regularly?
So he's on regular medication, sir. He was on regular checkup.
Okay, so he's for metoprolol and ramipril for hypertension. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. How does metoprolol is going to work in this patient to control the blood pressure? What is the mechanism of action of metoprolol?
Sir, cardioselective beta blocker, sir. It decreases heart
It is
rate.
going to be the
It,
cardioselective beta blocker. Which
card-
cardioselective?
yes, sir.
What type of beta blocker it is? It is beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, 4, 5. Hello? I think she got disconnected. Okay, just anyone. Can you tell me how does the metoprolol?
Beta one
Beta 1.
selective. Beta one
Okay.
selective. It'll be negatively chronotropic.
Okay, so it is
Sir,
a
beta 1.
inotropic, it is a negative chronotropic, it is a beta 1
Yes, sir.
selective, it is going to reduce the heart rate. Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
what are the factors affecting the blood pressure of any patient? The blood pressure is nothing
Sir,
but heart
Age.
rate multiplied by stroke volume multiplied
Yes, sir.
by systemic vascular resistance. Okay. So, this is the formula to calculate the blood pressure. So, when you want to reduce the blood pressure of any patient, you can reduce by reducing the heart rate, you can reduce by reducing the stroke volume, or you can reduce by reducing the systemic vascular resistance. So, how does the metoprolol work? What factors does it reduce?
it will reduce heart rate, sir.
Heart.
Okay, yeah, it will predominantly reduce the
It
heart
reduces
rate.
the heart rate.
By reducing the
Yes, sir.
heart rate, it is going to get down the blood pressure. What is
Yes,
the
sir.
electrolyte abnormality you get when you use a metoprolol? What is the important electrolyte abnormality which is caused by metoprolol?
Hypokalemia. Hyperkalemia.
Hypokalemia. Okay, I'll ask another way. What happens when you take excessive salbutamol nebulization?
Hypokalemia.
So what happens when you
Hypokalemia
take
will
beta
occur, sir.
blockers?
Hypokalemia.
Hypokalemia.
It is going to be hyperkalemia. Okay, so excessive amount of beta blockers can produce increase in the potassium level. Though it is cardioselective, when you take a longer duration of cardioselective beta blockers, it is shown that it could also block the beta 2 receptors. So long-term intake of beta blockers can result in increased potassium levels. Okay, so hyperkalemia is a very dangerous electrolyte abnormality which could caused by the beta blockers. Do you think the metoprolol is being started for hypertension? Sirisha,
Sir,
this patient is on metoprolol. Do you think the patient is on metoprolol for the control of blood pressure?
sir, maybe for ischemic heart disease also we can.
Yes. Okay. Most important thing.
Because
this patient
myocardial oxygen
is-
demand.
Yeah, this patient is on metoprolol not to control the blood pressure. It has been started by the cardiologist for ischemic heart disease.
Ischemic heart
I'll tell you
disease.
why it is reason. Reason is, what is the first drug of choice for hypertension in Caucasian, in Indian population to be started? When the patient is branded to be an hypertensive, which is the first drug you start for controlling of hypertension in our country?
Calcium channel
AC
blockers.
inhibitors.
Calcium channel blockers.
Very good. It is the
AC
first drug
inhibitors.
of AC inhibitors or calcium channel blockers.
So in the
Calcium
elderly,
channel blockers.
I mean ACE inhibitors, and but in otherwise calcium channel blockers. Sir.
Okay, elderly it is AC inhibitors. Where it is given like that? No, right. So the first and foremost drugs, particularly for the Caucasian populations and Indian population, the first drug to start for hypertension is going to be the calcium channel blockers. So this is foremost and preferred. Whereas if the patient is diabetic and hypertension, when you have this type of combination, the first drug of choice is going to be AC inhibitor or angiotensin inhibitors. Okay, why? Because in diabetes mellitus, this AC inhibitors and angiotensin inhibitors has got a
Cardiac
potential to for
Renal
renal
protection.
remodulation. Okay,
Yes.
it can
Remodulation.
prevent the renal microvascular damage. So that is the reason when you have a mix of diabetes and hypertension, the best drug is going to be the AC inhibitors. When you don't have, when you have a pure hypertension, the first drug of choice will be the calcium channel blockers. Remember, this is a dictum in majority of the Caucasian populations. Okay, so the possible reasons for hypertension is going to be the essential hypertension. Essential hypertension, though there is no reason, the possible physiological explanation is prolonged release of adrenaline hormones is going to produce is going to alter the vascular sensitivity of the peripheral vessels. So the best thing is to relax the vascular tone. So that is why instead of AC inhibitors, the calcium channel blockers has been given the topmost priority as the first drug of choice in a non-diabetic hypertensive patient. So this patient is on ramipril for control of hypertension. I think ideally calcium channel blockers has to be started. Okay, Sirisha, getting back to you. How does ramipril work?
Sir, ramipril is AC inhibitor, sir.
Okay. How does the AC inhibitors reduce the blood pressure in the body?
So renin angiotensin system.
Yeah, tell me. What is renin angiotensin system is?
Sir, angiotensin 2 inhibitor, sir.
Okay. Can you tell
So-
briefly about renin angiotensin system? From the juxtaglomerular apparatus, you get the renin is released in
Renin
response
is released.
to sympathetic stimulation. Okay, what
Yes,
does
sir.
renin do?
Renin will convert into angiotensin 1, sir.
Renin is converted to angiotensin 1. Is that so?
Angiotensinogen. Yes, sir.
It converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Okay, what
Yes,
happens
sir.
to the angiotensin 1?
It is converted into angiotensin 2, sir.
Where
in
it
the
is
presence of
converted?
in lungs, sir.
Okay, in the lungs, it is converted to angiotensin 2. What is the enzyme responsible for it?
Angiotensin converting
AC
ACE, sir.
enzyme. Can you tell me which part of the lungs this angiotensin converting enzyme is located? It is presented in the alveolar cells, okay? Alveolar cells type 1, okay? So type 1 alveolar cells has got this angiotensin converting enzyme, That is where the angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2. What is the effect of angiotensin 2 inside the body?
It will cause vasoconstriction, sir.
It causes
Systemic.
vasoconstriction. Yes, then it increases sodium.
ADH.
It increases sodium reabsorption in the body. It
Yes, sir.
increases extracellular fluid volume. Okay. So when the extracellular fluid volume is increased, the stroke volume is increased. When there is vasoconstriction, the SVR is increased. So by giving an angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, what do? You're going to reduce the angiotensin 2 concentration. By reducing the angiotensin 2 concentration, you are reducing the stroke volume as well as the SVR. So that is how it is controlling the blood pressure. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the dangerous effect of ramipril inside the body?
Hyperkalemia it will cause, sir.
Yeah, it causes increased potassium level in the body. It can cause dangerous hyperkalemia. So in a patient who is on a combination of metoprolol and ramipril, what is the together cumulative effect? You're going to have high
Hyperkalemia.
potassium
Hyperkalemia.
inside the body. So this patient has to be carefully watched for potassium levels. So is there any absolute contraindication for having a ramipril? Sirisha,
CKD patient.
And
CKD patients, no.
angineurotic edema.
Those are all the side effects of
Sorry.
ramipril. What is the absolute
Renal
contraindication?
artery stenosis.
Bilateral renal artery stenosis.
Bilateral
artery stenosis.
renal artery
Renal
stenosis
artery
is absolute
stenosis.
contraindication, and the relative contraindications are drugs which, like ramipril, which could increase potassium levels, like potassium sparing diuretics,
Sparing
spironolactone, and high dose of beta blockers, or drugs which increase the potassium level inside the body. It is contraindicated to use it along with them. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what is the peri-operative strategy of ramipril? Would you stop before surgery, Sirisha?
Sir, actually, if you're going for intermediate and low risk surgery, we can where we can less fluid changes. We can go with AC inhibitors, sir.
Okay. So for a
We
low
can
risk
continue AC
surgery where there
inhibitors.
is less fluid shift, you can continue with ramipril. Okay, that's what it
Yes,
statement
sir.
is. Okay, what
Yes,
is
sir.
the advantage of stopping and disadvantage of stopping ramipril?
Sir, when we are expecting a large fluid shift, there is, if you continue with the AC inhibitor, there will be profound hypotension will be there.
Okay, so the amount of intraoperative hypotension or the body's cardiovascular reflex is going to get completely blunted in the presence of angiotensin converting enzyme system inhibitors. Okay, so that is the reason when the body is trying to respond to hypovolemia or shock or any bleeding, the body's cardiovascular reflex is completely blunted. So that is why it is advisable to stop at least before how long before the surgery. Trisha, when do you
24
stop
hours,
inhibitors
sir.
if needed?
24 hours.
Okay, it should be stopped at least 24 hours before the operation.
Before
Okay.
surgery, yes, sir.
Okay, so the maximum duration of action of ramipril is 24 hours. So you should stop at least 24 hours before the operation. So what is the disadvantage of stopping an AC inhibitor? Do you think any disadvantage of stopping an ramipril?
Rebound hypertension.
Yes, okay. There will
Sir,
be
remodeling.
the remodeling and the rebound hypotension will be very severe in a patient who has been stopped ramipril in the perioperative period. Okay, that's the disadvantages of discontinuing ramipril in the perioperative period. Okay, so when a patient is telling a hypertension, is there any other things you should ask apart from the control? So one is compliance with the medication, how well controlled is blood pressure, and you should ask for the signs of end organ failure. Can you tell
End-organ,
signs
yes,
of end organ failure?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Patient might be having left ventricular failure, sir. Like,
Okay. Patient having signs of left ventricular failure. Okay. So signs of end
uh,
organ failure. Yes. Left
sir,
ventricular
cerebral
failure.
vascular stroke, sir.
Stroke. Yes.
Chronic CKD, sir. Chronic kidney disease, maybe.
Chronic kidney disease. Yes.
Hypertensive retinopathy.
Yes. Retinopathy. Okay. Retinopathy. Very
Yes, sir.
good. Excellent. So heart, lungs, kidneys, brain, are going to suffer because of hypertension. So we should ask for features of LVF, features of stroke, chronic kidney disease, and any visual disturbances in this patient to assess how well controlled is his hypertension. Okay. Now let's move on to the major factor, ischemic heart disease. Can you tell me more about his ischemic heart disease?
Sir,
So that patient has got an MI 3 years back,
Yes, sir.
okay, and he has been treated. There is single stent, and he's put on aspirin. So he's taking only aspirin, single antiplatelet drug, isn't it?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not a dual antiplatelets. Fine.
No, sir.
So what are the different types of stents available for the patients?
So bare metal stent and
One
drug-eluting
is
stent,
bare
sir.
metal stent. Other thing is the
Drug-eluting stent.
drug-eluting stent. Okay.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So what is the difference implication for an anesthetist who is having a bare metal stent and a drug-eluting stent?
Sir, when to stop, sir? That's the main concern. Like, this bare metal stent, when patient underwent bare metal stent, patient should continue drugs 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
Till 4 to 6 weeks, we won't take
Sir,
for
actually-
surgery, sir.
Okay. Fine.
So actually, sir, the decision to go ahead with surgery is dependent on what kind of surgery it is. Emergent surgery, time sensitive,
yeah, good.
urgency.
When
All
the patient is on a bare metal stent, when you take up the patient, if the patient is coming for an elective surgery.
So elective surgery after 4 to 6 after 4 to 6 weeks, we can take for elective surgery, sir.
Okay. 4 to 6 weeks. Is it sure?
3 months.
At least 3 months. Okay. If it is elective surgery,
3 months.
at least 3 months we can postpone the elective surgery in a patient who is taking on bare metal stent. Okay. When it
Yes,
comes
sir.
to drug-eluting stent,
1 year, we have 1 year,
year.
sir. Elective means 1 year.
okay.
If surgical
Someone's phone is vibrating,
risk
please,
is
Yeah. So you got 1 year time frame between the drug-eluting stent when the patient is coming for an elective surgery. Okay. So what drug normally the stents elute inside the stent? What are the drugs are there in the stent?
Paclitaxel,
Yes, very good, excellent. Paclitaxel, then
sirolimus.
sirolimus. Okay, sirolimus and paclitaxel. Okay, why those drugs are incorporated inside the stent?
or to prevent endothelial revascularization.
Okay, so drug-eluting stent, they continuously release this what sort of drugs are this paclitaxel and the sirolimus?
Anti-cancer.
So there are
Cancer drugs, sir.
So these drugs,
Immunomodulator.
they prevent the cell division and the cell growth. When they prevent cell division and cell growth, what happens? The cell's healing capacity is avoided. When the cells don't heal, you don't get endothelialized. So until the cells are endothelialized, you have to continue this antiplatelets. Okay. So what are the common antiplatelets are given in a drug-eluting stents?
Sir, ecosprin and clopidogrel, we can dual antiplatelet drugs we can start, sir.
Okay. So what is the mechanism of action of ecosprin? How does aspirin work?
Irreversible toxin.
It inhibits the
COX-2 inhibitor, sir.
Okay, it is a COX inhibitor. Fine. How does the
Yes.
COX inhibitor is acting as an antiplatelet?
Prostaglandins,
reduces the
Inhibit thromboxane A2, sir.
Okay, so it reduces the thromboxane A2 production. That's the main reason. Okay, so when the thromboxane A2 is reduced, this is a powerful vasoconstrictor. Okay, and it prevents the platelet aggregation. So that is how it is acting as an antiplatelet agent. So is aspirin a reversible or an irreversible agent?
Irreversible. sir.
Irreversible.
Irreversible.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I think let Sirisha alone answer so that everyone are getting audio disturbances. When I ask someone, someone can unmute and tell. Yes, Sirisha. So it is
sir, as irreversible, sir.
an irreversible antiplatelet. So how long do you stop in case aspirin has to be stopped?
Sir, aspirin up to 150 mg we can continue, sir.
Okay. What are the surgeries
in
where
case-
you have to stop aspirin?
So when we are expecting more blood loss like scoliosis surgeries,
Intracranial.
neurosurgeries,
Okay, intracranial surgeries. Fine.
closed space, sir. Closed space
Closed
surgeries
space
have to.
surgeries, intracranial surgeries, some
Yes, sir.
major spine surgeries. Okay. Major spine surgeries. Then any other closed chamber surgeries? Any other closed chamber surgeries? When you're operating on the posterior chamber of eye. Okay. So intravitreal surgeries, intracranial surgeries, spine surgeries. So these are the three surgeries when you feel that risk of continuing aspirin is more than compared to benefit, you can stop aspirin. Rest all the surgeries, the current recommendation is you have to continue aspirin whatever the dose the patient is taking. All right, Sirisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we said there is another antiplatelet which we're gonna use. What is that drug?
Sir, anticoagulant, sir. Sir,
So apart from aspirin, what are the other antiplatelet drug which patients
clopidogrel we
normally
can
take?
use. Sir,
Clopidogrel.
clopidogrel,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. How does the clopidogrel work?
ED white 12
Sir.
inhibitor.
Yes, sir.
ED white 12 inhibitor.
Okay. It is P2
P2Y12.
Y12
P2
inhibitor. What
Y2
is this P2 Y12?
EDP.
So it is an ADP inhibitor. Okay. Adenosine diphosphate inhibitor, which is present inside the platelet membrane. Okay. So when that membrane is inhibited, what happens? It prevents the active formation of GP2B and 3A, which is a glycoprotein receptor present in the platelet membrane. So when this active formation is prevented, what happens? There is no platelet aggregation. So it prevents mainly the platelet aggregation. Okay. Can you tell me one drug which prevents the platelet adhesion? Sirisha. Name a drug which prevents platelet adhesion, not aggregation.
Abscession, sir.
No.
Paclitaxel.
Dipyridamole. Okay. Dipyridamole is a drug, okay, which is a phosphodiesterase inhibitor inside the platelet. Okay. So it reduces the calcium availability inside the platelets, so it prevents the platelet adhesion. Okay. Sirisha, is clopidogrel a reversible drug or an irreversible drug?
Sir, reversible, sir.
It is an irreversible inhibitor. Okay. So clopidogrel is not a reversible blocker. It is an irreversible inhibitor of platelets. So what is the half-life of clopidogrel? What is the duration of action of clopidogrel?
24 hours.
It is 24 to 48 hours or 24 to
24
36
hours.
hours. Okay. So when you're planning for a spinal in a patient who is on clopidogrel, how before you stop clopidogrel in those patients?
70.
5 days before surgery, sir.
Okay, 5 to 7 days is the recommended as per the Astra guidelines.
Days.
Right. Why do you stop for 5 days? Though the duration of action is only 24 to 36 hours.
To stop before 5 off lives.
No. Generally,
regain the
half-life is
function
only
of
2.
platelet.
Lifespan.
Platelet functioning, sir. Reversing of platelet functioning.
No.
Half-life of platelets.
Its half-life is only 24 hours, but we still advise the patient to stop for 5 to 7 days. Why?
Lifespan of platelets.
Yes, I think majority are knowing the answer. No worries. Okay, this clopidogrel, it is an irreversible blocker, isn't it? So the already platelets which are formed inside the body, which is circulating inside the body, are completely blocked by this clopidogrel. Body has to generate only new platelets for it to function to get it back to normal. So the half-life of platelet is 5 to 7 days. So that is why we have to wait until 5 to 7 days for it to work for the clopidogrel action to go off completely. Clopidogrel action will stop in 24 to 36 hours, but it is an irreversible blocker. That is the reason we have to wait for the body to generate new platelets inside the body. If you want to give acutely reverse the effect of clopidogrel, what do?
Platelet transfusion.
You have to transfuse platelets for him. Platelet transfusion is the only way to reverse the effect of clopidogrel. So modern eluting stents or drug eluting stents, generally it is advisable to use dual antiplatelets. But once you feel, since the patient is on stenting done 3 years back, dual antiplatelet is not needed. Only single antiplatelet is sufficient for him. Once 6 months to 1 year, once the endothelialization has been confirmed, dual antiplatelet is not required. Just one single antiplatelet drug is more than enough for the patient to continue lifelong. Okay. Right. So, yes, Sirisha, are you back, Sirisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's assume that this patient is going to come for an emergency surgery. Okay. How do you manage the antiplatelet now? So the patient is on aspirin. Let's assume that the patient is on clopidogrel. So the patient is coming for a surgery which you want to operate within 6 hours. How do you react in an emergency situation?
Sir,
Just the manipulation of these drugs alone.
sir, we'll take for surgery, sir.
Okay, so just because we have to stop for 5 to 7 days doesn't mean that we have to wait. When the patient is coming for emergency surgery, just reverse the effect of clopidogrel immediately with a platelet transfusion and take up this patient for surgery. Okay, right. So what is the difference between giving a low molecular weight heparin and clopidogrel in a patient who has got a stenting? In other terms, why the patient is not on oral antiheparin drugs, why the patient is put on clopidogrel instead of antiheparin drugs in a
Sir,
patient with
this
a drug
heparin is,
interaction? Yeah.
sir, mainly this clopidogrel is antiplatelet, sir, regarding the like coronary vasospasm and all. This
Okay.
low molecular heparin will be
Yeah, tell me. Come on, continue.
sir, low molecular heparin is anticoagulant, sir.
Okay. So clopidogrel
Yes,
is
sir.
also an anticoagulant. Low molecular weight is also an
Yes, sir.
anticoagulant. Why are we not the
Sir,
patient putting?
there is, sir, clopidogrel predominant action on the arterial,
Yes,
coronary
okay, that is the
arterial, sir.
most important thing. Okay, so arterial
sir.
thrombus is predominantly determined by the platelet plug. Okay, low molecular weight heparins, all other types of heparins, they predominantly prevent the venous thrombosis. So that is why in a patient with AF to prevent stroke, in a patient with GV to prevent the pulmonary embolism, we put them on low molecular weight heparin. Whereas for the arterial thrombotic conditions like thromboagenesis obliterans, like coronary artery disease, cerebral artery disease, we put the patients on antiplatelet. So antiplatelets prevent the arterial thrombus, antiheparins prevent or heparins prevent the venous thrombosis. That you have to clearly understand. Okay. So you said there is no history of diabetes, no thyroid, no bronchial asthma, no stroke. Fine. So this is how with regard to the past history. So hypertensive, ischemic heart disease with a drug-eluting stent on aspirin. Right. Shall we move on to the next part of the history?
Sir.
Rest all guys, just unmute. You're able to follow with me so far.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now proceed, Sirisha. What is there? Anything relevant in a history?
Sir, past history over, sir. Next I'll go for personal history.
Okay. Personal history. Anything important?
Sir, he's a smoker and alcoholic, sir. Since 10 years, he stopped 6 months back.
Okay. 10 years smoker. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it really significant or not?
Significant, sir.
Okay. So what is the effect of smoking in the brain?
So it may cause stroke, sir. Vasospasm.
Okay. It can cause stroke.
Because of
It can cause stroke then. Okay. So what is its effect in the heart?
so coronary vasospasm can occur.
Okay. Coronary artery disease. Okay. Then
Yes, sir.
the cardiovascular system per se. Coronary artery disease. Then anything else you could remember?
Maybe patient, sir.
Yeah,
Maybe.
tell me.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sirisha, tell me.
Mm.
The patient could have coronary artery
My-
disease. Patient can
Myocardial
have
ischemia.
hypertension. Okay. Patient can increase the coronary vascular tone. Okay. It increases the coronary vascular resistance. Okay. It increases the myocardial oxygen demand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is its effect in the GIT?
Gastroparesis.
Gastroparesis
Lower
is caused by
esophageal
diabetes, not by smoking.
sphincter.
Yes.
Lower esophageal sphincter only.
Yes, it
Sphincter
reduces the tone of the lower esophageal sphincter.
Sphincters.
Okay, so increased risk of aspiration. Then gastritis increases acidity. Okay, it increases acidity. Any advantages of smoking in the GIT?
Splanchnic vasodilation.
Reduces post-operative nausea and vomiting.
Yes, very good, excellent. It reduces the incidence of post-operative nausea, vomiting. Okay. Yes, so these are the advantages of smoking in a GIT system. Then it can precipitate Crohn's disease. Okay, and another advantage is it can reduces the effect of ulcerative colitis. It precipitates Crohn's, it reduces the effect of ulcerative colitis. Okay, what is the effect of smoking in the lungs? Sirisha,
The COPD.
yes, COPD, bronchitis,
Uh,
okay, emphysema, both can happen. Then lung malignancy. See, smoking and anesthesia is very, very vital topic. 60% of the patients in a pre-anesthetic clinic, they come and smoke. They come, the majority of the smokers when they go in, particularly for the elderly patients, male patient. So we have to know what are the different impacts of smoking in different systems, and you have to look in your past history or in your anesthetic management, because this is going to impact your anesthetic management, isn't it? Yes or no,
Yes, sir.
Sirisha?
yes, sir.
Okay, so in lungs, it can cause COPD, it can cause bronchitis, it can cause emphysema, it can produce lung malignancy. Fine. So these are the different major effects of smoking inside the body. What is the effect of smoking in oxygen?
Sir, oxygen requirement will.
What is the effect of
Decisions
smoking
of shift
on?
to the left.
Okay. So when you
O2
smoke,
decisions
what is
of
the
shift to the left.
what is the major gaseous component of a smoke?
Carbon monoxide.
Okay,
Carbon
carbon
monoxide.
monoxide is a major component of smoke, right? So what happens when carbon monoxide comes into the body?
Bind to the hemoglobin.
Diffusion.
It has got high affinity to hemoglobin.
Yes.
200 times.
So when there is high affinity hemoglobin, majority of carboxyhemoglobin is formed. The oxyhemoglobin is the amount of oxyhemoglobin comes down. Okay, so the carboxyhemoglobin is 300 times more affinity than the oxyhemoglobin. So what happens to the oxygen carrying capacity? It comes down. Okay, so the body's baseline oxygen reserve is going to get down. In terms of stress or during the time of anesthetic stress, the amount of oxygen carrying capacity is going to be very poor. The patient can easily go for hypoxemia and tissue injury. All right,
Yes, sir.
you got it, Sirisha.
Yes, sir.
Right. Then what happens to the coagulation system in the body?
Hypercoagulable state,
Okay,
sir.
the patient will have hypercoagulability, so there is increased risk of DVT and pulmonary embolism. So perioperatively, these patients has to be given extra care of putting on mechanical as well as pharmacological prophylaxis. All smokers, when they're planning for surgery which is going to extend more than 1 hour, it is always advisable to use pharmacological as well as mechanical prophylaxis when you're putting those patients for sleep or any type of surgery. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are the major reason for these effects? Which is a major component in the smoking which is causing all these problems?
So nicotine.
Nicotine. Okay, nicotine is a major culprit in the smoke which is causing all the issues for the patients. Okay, you advise to stop smoking. Okay, generally in a pre-ASA clinic, you advise to stop smoking. What is the advantages of stopping the patient to smoke? What is the first change inside the body
Sir.
when you ask the patient to stop smoking?
Sir, if you are stopping like 12 to 24 hours before surgery,
Okay,
there will
what
be
is the
reduced
first and the foremost effect?
Carbon monoxide level decrease.
Okay,
carbon
within
monoxide.
20
Reduced
minutes.
carbon monoxide, sir.
Okay, within 20 minutes, the carboxyhemoglobin level comes down. Okay, within
Yes, sir.
4 hours, what happens, the nicotine stimulating the sympathetic system. Okay, sympathetic system effect of nicotine comes down. So when the stimulating of sympathetic system stimulation comes down, the blood pressure drops and the heart rate is going to drop. Okay, and within 12 to 24 hours, what happens, Sirisha? You told me something.
Sir, reduce carbon monoxide and nicotine level 7.
Okay, fine. So these things you're telling in 24 hours. Okay, this generally happens within 4 hours. What is the effect after 1 week?
After 1 week, sir, decreased sputum production will be there.
Okay,
Improved ciliary function.
the airway
Yes, sir.
reactivity. Okay, the airway
Yes, sir.
reactivity comes down. Okay, when the patient is
Yes, sir.
smoking, because of increased airway reactivity, there is chances of coughing, cough holding, breath holding, laryngospasm, anything can happen under anesthesia. Okay, so that's because of excessive airway reactivity. So it takes 1 week for the patient to get back its airway reactivity to a non-smoker level. What happens to
Yes, sir.
in 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
The secretions, airway secretions, and the
Decreases
mucociliary
sputum
clearance.
production, sir. Yes, sir.
Mucociliary clearance activity of the cilia and the secretions come down. It takes 2 weeks. Okay. So it takes 6 months. Okay, it takes 6 months to reduce the cardiovascular incidents like coronary artery spasm, intramyocardial ischemia. Those factors has to come down. It takes at least 6 months for the patient to reduce the effect of nicotine. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So these are the important things, points which is you must be knowing before presenting the case, because you don't expect anything to be asked only in the focusing what you want to. Sometimes they can discuss purely just smoking alone, because it has got a huge financial burden as well as health burden across the world. Okay, so this patient has stopped smoking for 6 months, which is fair and well enough that the chances of perioperative complication is going to be very less in this patient, right? Anything relevant to the past history?